G'day folks, welcome back to the channel for what's either going to be my very first kill of Mogdrogen with my Death Knight, or it's going to be my Death Knight's death video. So I've done a little bit of research on Mogdrogen, and what I've found out is that at 50% he kind of goes berserk and gets damage modification, so he does more damage. He takes less damage, I think it's about half, and he moves faster. And he does almost entirely lightning damage and shreds lightning resist by, I think it's 73 or something like that. So I brought along some Storm Shroud ointment. I've got all of the drugs basically, which we're going to use, and then die horribly. We should be alright, but let's see how this goes. Okay. So we should, in theory, be able to just face tank him, at least down to 50%. After that, no promises. I haven't used Mark of Torment yet. Hopefully I won't need to. All of the stuff he's summoning, it should just kind of die around us. Health is spiking a little bit. Not too bad though. We should be okay. He's dying pretty quick. I expected this to take longer. Alright, so I panic push Mark Torment. Let's see how we go here. I think I will save Mark of Torment for when his friends are here. Just use the reflective damage to kill him a little bit quicker. At least that's the plan. Hopefully it'll work out like that. I'm going to swap sides, so as I can be facing away from the wall. And hopefully what I can do is just keep spamming Ill Omen and hope that that's enough. So you should be hitting 50% now. I do have my finger on my Aether cluster, although having said that, that hurt. Alright, Aether cluster is used. It's down to 40%. I seem to be surviving okay. Let's just see if we can get him away from the lightning a little bit. Or maybe not, maybe the lightning is just going to follow us. Okay, I'm just concentrating on keeping Ill Omen active, so as he does less damage to me, and we pray that that's enough lifesteal. I think I'm being stunned here as well, which definitely is not ideal. I think as long as I can keep swinging, it should go down. Or I will, one of us is gonna die. Alright, his friends are back. I don't have Mark of Torment. He's definitely got a lot more friends this time too. That seems okay. I'm probably one stun, like one poorly timed stun away from being dead. Okay, down to his last 4 million. If I do kill him, I have to remember not to stand in the fire afterwards. Alright, he's down to 3 million. Down to 2 million. 1.5. 1 million. 700, 600, 500, 400. Alright, we got him. There we go. Baby's first Mogdrogen kill. Hardcore. On ultimate. And yeah, pretty happy about that. Okay, quick overview of the build I just used to kill Mogdrogen. This is my level 100 Death Knight. I do have a showcase video from when I was brand new at making videos. The quality is not amazing, but all the information is there. Do turn the volume up though. It was from before I figured out OBS a little bit more. Right, so this, as I said, was my very first hardcore level 100. I got most of the achievements with this character. It's probably my recommendation for a first hardcore character if you want to get the achievements. So, overview for the build. We have the 4-piece Krieg set. I'm only using 4 pieces because I needed the helmet for something else. I will get to that in a minute. This whole set is basically an Aether set. You convert Blitz to Aether, you add flat Aether damage, you have procs that do Aether damage. You can use it for physical, but no one really does. And like I said, I'm only using 4 pieces of the set because the helmet slot is being taken up by the Dune Fiend's mask, which is how I get the ability to dual wield. This item has other stats, and I just don't care. It is there entirely to allow dual wielding. We are also using the Mage Lord set. These rings do give us an Aether/physical damage proc, but again, they are mostly there for the 2-set bonus, which is plus cadence levels and Aether damage, and they are there for the elemental converted to Aether damage conversion there. Both of them have that, so I'm converting about half of elemental damage on the build into Aether, so the cold damage from Bone Harvest is being converted. The vitality damage is also being converted, at least, again, half of it is. The Chains of Egrad, which I'm pretty sure comes from Port Valbury, these have just ridiculous amounts of resistances on them. They also come with an Aether damage percent and the vitality converted to Aether damage. This build does actually do a lot of a lot of vitality damage. So Spectral Wrath has vitality damage on it. Half of that's being converted to Aether. Soul Harvest does vitality damage and cold. Half of all that's being converted. The actual skill itself does cold damage, does vitality. It's largely being converted. We have the Edge of Sanity weapon, which is adding Aether and converting damage to Aether for Markovian's Advantage and Reaping Strike. So here we go, Reaping Strike. You'll notice it's all Aether damage. And Markovian's Advantage, again, it's largely Aether damage there. We'll get to all the skills in a minute. What else have we not covered? The legs here. Stats, resistances, freeze resistance, skill points, that's all nice. The elemental seal proc is, again, largely being converted to Aether, or at least 50% being converted to Aether. I don't think the damage over time portion of that is converted because Aether doesn't have a damage over time damage type. So for example, you have fire damage and then you also have burn damage. Whereas with Aether, you only have Aether damage. There's nothing to convert the burn damage to. So I believe it doesn't get converted and you still get burning damage. For our relic, we have Impurity here. It's another damage proc, Vitality and Aether damage. So Aether and Aether damage. With Lifesteal, it's also got a bunch of plus skills on it, +1 to all Necro, and flat Aether damage. Again, really good stuff. Mark of the Dreadblade, flat Aether damage, percent Aether damage, skills that I care about, Aether damage applied to Cadence, and another proc for physical and Aether damage. The majority of our Cadence modification stuff, though, comes from the Conjurer of Warring Whispers here. Large amounts of health and energy is nice, resistances are nice, skills are nice. The reason you wear this is 8,376 Aether damage to Cadence, combined with 100% physical damage converted to Aether damage to Cadence. So every 3 attacks, which is how Cadence works, you get the Cadence proc. So the individual attacks before Cadence are not converted by this item. It's only that 3rd proc that gets converted. Alright, as far as skills go, I have the weapon proc skills for Markovian's Advantage, for Zolhan's Technique, for Reaping Strike, and for Necrotic Edge. These are all totally add up to 100%, I think. 27, what's that, 40, 52, 79%, and yes, 100% exactly. I know I was going for 100, I wasn't sure I'd actually manage to get to 100. But yes, I have a 100% chance to proc something on every attack. I believe how that works is that makes the cadence procs trigger on every second weapon strike. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I've just been told it works like that, so grain of salt. We have Fighting Spirit for damage and offensive ability. Military Conditioning for physique and health, which, I mean, it's more health, it's more defensive ability. Physique is good. Field Command, OA, DA, armor, all the fun stuff. Attack speed, casting speed. Decorated Soldier, think that's mostly there for the elemental resist, if I'm honest. That's a 1-point wonder. If you don't want that, you could take it out, but it's decent to have. Scars of Battle is the armor absorption. The bleed res is nice. The stun and freeze reduced duration is also quite nice, if I can eventually spit that sentence out. Our exclusive skill is Harbinger of Souls. It's a lot of vitality and Aether damage. Attack speed is nice too. We're using Bone Harvest with Dread. Those are 1 points. They're just to get this. This is basically more cold and vitality damage that we convert to Aether. Ill Omen there for the reduced target's damage. The damage it does is nice, but it's there for that reduced target's damage for 1 second effect. Spectral Binding. This is my favorite buff in the game. I said this in the Death Knight video, I'm going to say it again. This buff is my favorite buff in the entire game. So, Spectral Binding itself gives you a pile of health, a pile of Aether damage, a pile of percent Aether damage, and offensive ability. These are all really nice stuff. But this is the money. So Spectral Wrath, basically, anytime you get hit by anything, they get a dot put on them. They take damage, which you can see there is mostly Aether on this build. They have reduced attack speed. You can see it shreds their resistances. The main part of it, though, is that they get hit. And that means that you can trigger this proc, you can trigger this proc, you can trigger this proc, you can trigger this proc. All of these procs that are like, 30% chance on hit, well, this one's critical, so bad one to mouse over. Chance when hit, all of this stuff triggers if you are hit, if you hit something. All of it will trigger if anything attacks you. If you watch the video of the showcase for this build, you'll see I just walk into a room and procs go off everywhere and everything melts, and it's great fun. As far as the devotions, we have the Tortoise and the Ghoul for our circuit breakers. We have a bunch of just nice to haves with bonuses like run speed, stats, health, all that sort of fun stuff. The important ones to know, though, we have the Widow attached to Bone Harvest. This is our Aether Resistance Shred. We have the Spear of the Heavens attached to Field Command. This is just when I get hit, a spear comes down and stabs fools. It's pretty fun. We have a lot of the Aeon's Hourglass stuff, so this is reduction in damage over time. There's also reduction in crowd control here. Reflected damage reduction is, again, it's a nice to have. This isn't a dot build, so it's probably not going to kill us, but again, nice to have. Vitality and Aether Resistance is, again, good to have. When this was basically a blitz build from 94 to 100 when I got all this gear together, I did have Time Dilation attached to Krieg's Stomp from the 5-piece set, and this would basically reset all of my cooldowns, so I could use the Stomp into Soul Siphon, I think it's called. Yeah, Siphon Souls, and it would just use this, use Stomp, use this again, and just do most of my AoE damage that way. Don't have it anymore though, but it was fun. And then you have the Eye of Korvac for some crowd control. This goes off fairly regularly, and reduces targets OA and DA for 5 seconds, which is very nice. and it also... This isn't even maxed out, wow. Also has a chance to petrify. I was going to say stun, but it's petrify. And that's it as far as the devotions go, in terms of, you know, meaningful procs. It's just these and the 2 circuit breakers. I believe that's everything. So that'll be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.